The rise of Elizabeth I and England's crisis. When Elizabeth I ascended the throne in the 16th century, England was in a state of turmoil. The country was teetering on the edge of collapse, torn apart by religious conflict and political instability. Yet, it was under these dire circumstances that Elizabeth rose to power, using her leadership to steer the nation towards unity and strength. The period was marked by intense religious conflict between Catholics and Protestants, which had left England divided. The religious reforms initiated by her father, Henry VIII, had further deepened these wounds, and the Catholic policies of her sister, Mary, only heightened the chaos. England also faced external threats, with tensions escalating with powerful Catholic nations like Spain and France. Spain, in particular, was a dominant force and openly criticized Elizabeth for her Protestant faith, leaving England on the brink of international isolation. Yet, despite these overwhelming challenges, Elizabeth I's leadership shone through. Her charisma and strategic mind became the foundation of her rule, allowing her to unite a divided nation, balancing religious conflict and political instability. During a time when religious conflict threatened the stability of the country, Elizabeth I adopted a delicate approach to restore balance. She was a Protestant, but she understood that aggressive opposition to Catholicism would only deepen the divide. Instead, she sought a middle path. Elizabeth's policy of religious moderation aimed to appease both sides. While she firmly established England as a Protestant state, she avoided extreme persecution of Catholics, striving for national harmony. Her religious compromise became the key to stabilizing a deeply fractured nation. By allowing some degree of religious tolerance, Elizabeth diffused tensions and strengthened her reign. The tumultuous path to the throne. Elizabeth's journey to the throne was far from smooth. Her early life was shaped by adversity, which only strengthened her resolve as a leader. After her mother, Anne Boleyn, was executed, Elizabeth was cast out from the royal court and stripped of her claim to the throne. Later, during her sister Mary I's reign, her Protestant beliefs placed her in grave danger, even leading to her imprisonment. These early challenges molded Elizabeth into a resilient leader. Her experience of being branded a threat and surviving imprisonment taught her patience and caution, qualities that would prove invaluable when she finally ascended to the throne. A strong leadership without absolute power. Elizabeth's ability to lead without resorting to tyranny was one of her greatest strengths. She sought to maintain political stability without ruling with an iron fist. Her religious policy, often called the Middle Way, allowed both Protestants and Catholics a degree of freedom, creating a more peaceful environment. At the same time, she worked closely with Parliament, avoiding the pitfalls of absolute power. Elizabeth's leadership was marked by a careful balance between authority and diplomacy, which allowed her to govern a stable and prosperous England. Diplomacy as a tool of leadership. Elizabeth was also a master of diplomacy, using it to strengthen England's position on the global stage. With Catholic powers dominating Europe, England, as a Protestant nation, faced the threat of isolation. Yet through strategic alliances, marriage negotiations, and even war, Elizabeth secured England's safety and prosperity. Her most notable triumph was the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588. This victory not only secured England's sovereignty, but also established its reputation as a formidable power. Charisma and connection with the people. Elizabeth I had a unique ability to captivate both her subjects and the international stage. Her charisma wasn't just about personal charm, but about forging a deep connection with her people. She often presented herself as a motherly protector of the nation, reinforcing this image through powerful public speeches and performances. One of the most famous examples of this was her speech at Tilbury, during the Spanish Armada's invasion. Dressed in military attire, she declared, "I have the body of a weak, feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king." This speech rallied the troops, and has since become an enduring symbol of her leadership, diplomacy and sacrifice for England. Elizabeth I's leadership was defined by her commitment to the nation, often at the expense of personal happiness. She famously chose never to marry, a decision that wasn't only personal but deeply political. By remaining the Virgin Queen, Elizabeth avoided the potential for foreign influence through marriage, maintaining her independence as a ruler. This personal sacrifice allowed her to focus entirely on England's prosperity and security, making her a symbol of dedication and service to her country. Elizabeth I's legacy. Under Elizabeth I, England experienced a period of economic growth and cultural flourishing. Her leadership brought about what is often referred to as the Golden Age of English history. Trade expanded, and industries thrived under her policies. England's influence grew on the global stage, particularly with the establishment of the East India Company. Meanwhile, the arts flourished, producing iconic figures like William Shakespeare, who would define English literature for generations to come. Elizabeth's reign saw the birth of England's naval supremacy, and a cultural renaissance that placed the nation at the forefront of the world stage. The defeat of the Spanish Armada. Perhaps the pinnacle of Elizabeth I's reign was the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588. At a time when Spain's naval forces were regarded as the most powerful in the world, Elizabeth's leadership and military strategy led to one of the greatest victories in English history. Her speech at Tilbury remains one of the defining moments of her reign, embodying her courage and resolve. The victory not only protected England from invasion, but solidified its position as a global power, a leadership model for modern times. Elizabeth I's leadership offers many valuable lessons for today's leaders. Her ability to maintain a firm grip on her values while adapting to ever-changing circumstances is a model of strategic flexibility. In today's world, leaders must navigate diversity and global challenges, while staying true to their principles. Elizabeth's success lay in her ability to unite a divided nation through tolerance, diplomacy, and strong, strategic decision-making. She showed us that true leadership is about balancing patience with action, building trust with the people, and leading with courage when the moment calls for it. Conclusion: Elizabeth I's leadership is a timeless example of what it means to lead a nation through turbulent times. Her charisma, wisdom, and courage guided England to prosperity and left an enduring legacy. Her story reminds us that even in the face of great adversity, a leader can change the course of history. If you found this video about Elizabeth I's leadership insightful or enjoyable, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on future videos, diving into fascinating historical figures and their impact on the world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.